Previously, we talked with Jamie and Bean about health and safety for kids on a sailboat. If you missed it, be sure to check it out. All right, so we've had our second break, which this time was a little restroom break. So my next question is, when you guys were choosing a boat and you were in Seattle and leaving, how did the fact that kids and an entire family alter your choice of boats, or what factors did you kind of like think into there?
2 toilets.
2 toilets, number one thing.
Actually, it's turned out to be really helpful.
Yeah. Okay, so that's key.
Partly no line, right? With 5 people on board. Partly teenagers, right? There's a bit of extra bathroom time that goes on occasionally. And partly, well, when one's broken, and it happens.
Well, no, I know. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But the other variables would be...
5 people in a bucket.
Sounds like a movie.
It's a crazy.
I think that's three girls, 1 cup, I think.
I didn't see that.
2 girls, 1 cup.
You'll email
Oh,
me.
yeah. That was the boring version.
No, we like the idea of a center cockpit because it keeps kids further away from the water. And I think that it's not necessarily a must-do thing with kids, but it felt a little bit safer if they're clipped in the middle of the boat as opposed to clipped in at the back of the boat. You're just a little closer. We liked a boat that has, as a mono, wider decks and open deck space. We've got pretty clear deck space so that the kids can move around more safely and to have more room to explore or play or whatever. So those were important features. And then for everybody needs their own space somewhere. So having a configuration where we could set up, well, the girls still share the V-berth, but they each have their own half and their own space. So it's cozy, but it still gives them a space. Those are all good bits.
They were. And that's where actually the jump from 2 to 3 kids kind of meant actually the jump from one boat to the next boat. We had another boat before Totem. It was a 35-foot Alder Grassi, which is super roomy down below for a 35-footer. And it was absolutely a boat we probably could have taken cruising with 2 kids. There's no way we could have managed 3 kids, especially in the teenage years where they each kind of need their own space. It was awesome when they were small, though. It was really great.
Yeah.
At the time, one of the things that we really liked about it was the center cockpit, because our kids were very small, and there was that what if, right? What if they get too close to the water? What if they end up in the water? None of our kids were swimmers. We're in very cold water, Puget Sound, and the center cockpit was just that much further away from the water, and we figured that much harder for them to end up over. In hindsight, I think that was more of our construct than anything else.
I would agree.
I really don't know, but it was a pretty important one at the time, and I don't regret our choice. The center cockpit now means that essentially we have these sort of zones on the boat where the forward end is the kids' end of the boat, and there's 2 cabins and a head up there, and that's all theirs ahead of the mast. And the aft end, we've got our nice aft cabin.
The aft end, what?
and another head that's all in the back, and there's a nice little bit of separation between the 2. And
That's what we do with Brady too. We have the back and Brady has the front, and it all just sort of works out good.
if there's a little bit of noise at one end or the other end, no one really bothers anyone. And whether it's a slumber party or something else, and it's you just a little more space for everybody is good. Space into the teenage years is massive. Really, I think massive.
So I need to change.
So, Niall, do you know what we're talking about?
Not specifically.
We were talking about space on a boat and how important space may or may not be for you yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think? How do you feel about the whole situation of parents in the back, kids up front? You have your own cabin, right?
I have my own cabin. I think space is very important, especially as you get older. I didn't feel the need for it quite as much when I was 9 or 10. But now having my own cabin is very important. Although I don't even have a door. But still.
You have
But how old are you? How old are you now, Niall?
I'm 16.
16 now.
And yeah, I think if I had to share a cabin with the girls, or even just sleep in the main cabin, I don't think I would be quite as comfortable. I don't know about the girls. I mean, they share their own cabin, but even their cabin, they divide it. Like, that's Marin's side and that's Siobhan's side. I think space is generally very important.
Yeah.
And something that you should think about if your kids are young and they're going to get older when you're getting your boat.
So like someone on a couple of year cruise, maybe not such a big deal. I mean, when they were small, you guys, even in Sydney in the winter when it was kind of cold, you would all three sleep together in the V berth, just sort of pig piled up there, puppy piled. You know, it was partly just sort of fun slumber party, partly for warmth, I think. But no big deal. And when you were little, you do the same thing, just happy being together. But now it's more important to have your own spot.
Yes.
And 47 feet's a pretty good size cruising boat. I think it's definitely like the larger end of the spectrum.
It is for cruising, but
We're a small 47 footer though.
Yeah, because it's an older design.
Yeah, low freeboards. We're a little pinched in the bow. Great boat, don't get me wrong, but we're a little small compared to more contemporary 47-foot design.
Being 34 years old.
But still, we fit well. I think you're okay with your space. We want to take up a
If he had a
complaint
door.
with management.
If you had a door.
If I had a door, yeah.
But basically,
Maybe a curtain.
what we were looking for, curtains. I keep promising
know,
a curtain and not delivering.
You can just go get yourself a sweet African
Put it in the
print
suggestion
and hang it
basket.
there.
Yeah.
Just gonna get some plastic and stick it up there. But yeah, so what we were basically looking for then were 3 cabins. And 3 cabins under 50 feet in a monohull turns out to be not so easy to find.
Yeah.
And this was one of the few boats in our price range that was a true blue water cruiser that had that configuration. Yeah.
But she's a good boat, and I think it does well with the kids. And we've had sleepovers countless times. We've had lots
like
of
5 kids over once, and we all slept up in the
Right.
cockpit.
No, there was one time of all these, I believe there was a 9 count.
9.
Total head count of kids on the boat, and yeah,
It's
they
just
sleep
like when
all over
Brady
the
brings
place.
his friends home.
I was gonna say, man, I just put a curtain up. I'll show you how to do it.
Brady's got plenty of curtains.
Tips.
I'll show you how to hang a proper curtain.
No, it's we do pretty well. I think you guys are okay.
Yeah.
What about family fights? Living in close quarters all the time.
I think you could argue that they're more prone and less prone because they're living closer to one another. I mean, it happens, but you know.
Like, do you you fight with your sisters a lot?
I wouldn't say a lot. We argue.
Yeah.
Whose turn is it to clean John's cage?
Mom's.
It's not.
Mom's. Nice.
Whose turn is it to do the dishes? It's mine. No, it's his. No, it's yours. No.
So it's like the same stuff that you'd see in a normal house. You just do it in your house, which happens to be a boat. floating in the
Yeah.
ocean.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can't slam the door because you don't have an escape the scene. Hence the no door.
Yeah.
Up next, we talk with Bean and Jamie about how they afford to cruise with kids on a limited budget.